Good morning and welcome back to Home Renovation Experts. Steve here on this 5x3 garden room build. So check it out. Look, we now have windows. The French doors are up in the house. The glass is up in the house. We have Western red cedar on site to finish off the front. We are good to crack on now. So plan is I'll obviously remove my temporary door, my lovely windows. They will go. I know I tried to sort of client to keep them. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to want the white ones, but you never know. So get that all stripped out. What I'll then do at the threshold and just up each wall, so coming up along there and then up about 6 inches or so up to there, will be this flashing tape. This stuff, bloody lovely stuff. It's by a company called Flashband, and it's by Bostik. It comes from Tool Station, if memory serves. So I'll run that, so that'll be like the flashing that sits underneath the threshold all out, just to make sure no water can permeate and get into the building. And we'll then probably start the French doors, to be honest, because they're like the hardest. But not difficult, but you know, they're a bit more work in them than sticking in the windows. So I'll get those in, get those cracked, and then get it hopefully expanding foam. So that'll probably be the entire day, just putting the doors and windows in, getting them all glazed up and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be a good day, because this is where it really starts to finish it at the front, obviously. You know, once you get the windows in, kind of get rid of the blankness and this horrible old door and stuff. Oh, I love these days. But first, a cup of tea. Very important there. Right, so that is the flashband put in for this one. So I literally just laid it down and then folded it down into that recess. It comes up by about, like I say, 6 inches, give or take both sides. So that just means when the threshold is put down, I run a bead of sealant down there, all the way across, unbroken, up, and that'll get bedded into it, so water ever tries to permeate behind, it won't ever get in there, it won't damage the floor. It's perfectly good, which I like. So this stuff is really, really good gear, actually. So that's that one done. So, do you know what? I'm gonna do all three. Yeah, why not? So I'll now get the lovely sheets of, what is it called? All vapor barrier, that's it. Get those dropped off, and I'll put the threshold strip on these ones as well, the waterproof, and then I should start getting some windows and doors fit. Right, so the flashing is now in for all three. I've cut the threshold strips, so they are now the right width for each bay. And here's a little known, or you might know it, but you might not. It was news to me. So my cousin Andy, who is the Sparky, said, "Do you know why, Steve, these are called threshold strips?" And I was like, "No idea, mate." And it turns out that back in the day, we used to use hay inside our old mud buildings. And the point of that was that, you know, it'd get muddy and dirty. So if you had hay to walk on, it meant you weren't walking directly on that dirt. And what they used to do was they used to put a little bit of wood between the doorway so that the hay wouldn't be dragged outside. It would stay in there. And so it's like, it was a threshold strip because it kept, they used to call it thresh. So the thresh, the straw, or the hay was left in there and wasn't called out. Threshold strip. I love stuff like that. See, you live and you learn. This channel's all about learning and education. So these are now cut. So what I'll do is, like I said, flush bottoms. So a big thick bit of sealant across there, all the way along, up the other side as well. That'll then get splodged into it, boom. And that'll be that stuck in, ready for the doors. What I'm gonna do is, because the windows are a bit lighter, I'm gonna get one of those, put in a threshold strip, and then I'll pull the window backwards and forwards until I'm happy, so I can adjust to allow either a bigger recess, a rebate on this side, or possibly a bigger one on that side. I see where it looks comfortable. Basically, what I generally do is, though, I'll bring it as far towards the front of the building as I can to still get my fixings, okay? Because obviously you want to put screws through, in this case, through these joints in there. So basically, this front edge here, where I can, I'll keep it as flush as possible here. But what I might do is just try and push it a bit further this way. Not a lot, just a little bit. So my Western red cedar, when it comes across flush, I only need a tiny little return on that bit. So that looked quite nice. And then just have a bit of a UPVC on this side to cover the inside. But I'll grab one and I'll see where I like it, because that's what I do. Right, so I'm gonna try and show this whilst I'm kind of filming at the same time. So what I've done is, look, there you go. So you can see the bottom, I'm gonna keep the front of the frame, I've decided, level with the front of the actual build, and just back off the batten that's going to hold the Western red cedar. So you just see that's where that's going to be. So there's a nice overlap, the threshold. That's obviously both sides now leveled up, so marked there. Then what I do is run a pencil line down the back of the threshold. I don't know if you can see it, hopefully you can. So what I'll do is I'll take the window out now, night down, and then I know exactly where my flooring is to go. I'll show you that. Right, that's when I dropped over there. So I'll now take this back out. There you go. Lovely pencil mark all the way through. So what I'll do now is get my bit of flooring over here, because I can't put that in afterwards. I need to put that in before I put the window in, because of the way the floor fits, okay? So don't just get carried away and go, oh, I've done it, because you'll find out, all right, bugger. So I'll get that measurement measured and get that bit of flooring dropped in there. Happy days. There you go. Didn't take long, did it? So cut, fit, done, done. So now this will actually, I say, seal it on there. I'll do that in a second. Basically, it pretty much pushes up to the back end of it, but it won't, because I'll leave a little 5mm gap for expansion, because that's what you got to do. So I took that into account when I did it. So basically it's going to sit somewhere along there, and that is it, done. I'll seal it now into place, and I'm good to go. I know I was going to say to fit the front French doors first, but I got caught up on this one, didn't I? So that's a threshold strip like sealed in underneath it. What I've also done is sealant across all that joint there, same this side, and I put a bead at the very back, okay? So when the window goes in, it'll fit flush into that gap. So it doesn't sit over it, it goes up against that. So that's it, just helps to prevent water ingress going that way. So that is now cemented there. So give that a nice little wipe, make sure it's pushed in. Get rid of the excess of that lovely little convenient space. Same this side. Lovely, lovely. And that's it. It's ready to now seat the window into it. And I can still adjust it and maneuver it so it's lined up flush. So obviously the sealant will just keep it pinned in place. Once I kind of got it roughly where I need it, I'll stick a couple of screws in it. Job done. Right, 2 frames in. No, I still haven't done the French doors. They're up the house and these windows are here. I got lazy. Chuck these in first, gets them out of the way, gives you a bit more space to work, doesn't it? So there you go, they're now in. Framey goodness. What I don't do either is I don't glaze them yet. I'll glaze everything at the end, because actually it's quite easy to go, oh, I need my hammer. Ah, there it is. As opposed to having to keep walking around. Lazy bugger, you know. So how I fix these, like I kind of said, I just kind of get it all lined up at the bottom, like I showed you. Then I just pre-drill or pre-pilot some screws straight into it either side. Then I kind of get it positioned where I want it on the threshold area. Zip those in just to hold it. And then all I need to do is basically level it in that sort of direction, you know, which way it wants to go that way. So I'll do one side first, and then I'll chuck a couple more in this side. So basically I only put like in the windows, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and then one at the top there. Behind each one, it's all packed out nicely. So there's some packers in there, so when a screw goes through, it pins it tight up against there. Same for the bottom, and down there as well. So that is that now nicely sort of secured in. Because what happens now is, like once I've glazed it, I will then just put expanding foam up these gaps everywhere, down these sides. And to be honest, like expanding foam would hold these things in, no bother at all. That stuff is tough as our boots once it goes off, because you think it actually expands and pins right around this corner and adheres to this wall. But obviously you want to screw it as well. That's not me just saying, just expanding foam it. Always put screws in, but you know, that'll just finish off and hold it. So that is that. So all cemented around here, ready to rock and roll. What I'll also do at this stage as well is I'll peel all the protective stuff off. Just because sometimes what will happen is I'll glaze it, I won't bother taking the stuff off, I'll then say do the Western Red Cedar down to the edge, and I've got to try and pick this stuff off, and it's pinned in with say Western Red Cedar, or it's pinned in this side with MDF or your plastic return trim, whatever you're going to do on the inside of it. And you have to find your knife down it. It's just a bit of a faff. And I can't be bothered with faffing. So I'll quickly run around now that this one's fixed in place. Satisfying that is. Get these bits off, and then I shall jump onto the French doors and get those on. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably do a little time lapse for those, because you know, why not? I've got my other phone in my pocket, it's just doing nothing. It should be entertaining you. So I'll do a time lapse of me fitting the French doors. That way, hopefully, if you get stuck, you can pause and kind of have a bit of a close look with any luck. But I'll also talk you through that as well. It's exactly the same process. There's nothing really different at all. You're just fitting the frame in. These come pre-hung, so the doors are on. So I just get those swung and hung, and it's just about the adjustment of the doors. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, I thought I could do a time lapse, or I could just let you watch me fit it. So this might be a bit longer as part of the video, but join me as I fit a French door. First thing you want to do is, like I say, the threshold is in, it's cemented, ready to rock and roll. So this will then go on top of it, and then we can adjust it as we need to. Fit your door handles in case they're not on, just so you can actually open the doors and get access to putting screws in the side. get yourself everything set up, you like your hammers, your spacers, your drill bits, all that kind of jazzy stuff. And then all we're going to do is we're going to lift it into place, hopefully. Lock it in place for a second. So just going to make sure the bottom's aligned. Get it in. Right, so I'll just hold that in place. Focus on the back of the threshold. And then all I'm going to do is drag the threshold to where exactly I need it. So let's go forward a little bit. Which is nice. That's beautiful, Bernard. So what I'll do now is open up this door, because I can. Come on the inside, like this. Yeah, just keep it pinned up in place. Give myself a little drill bit, ready to go. I'll put it about 2/3 of the way up on this one, just to get started. I know this wall's already roughly level where I need it, so I'll just start putting it there. So that kind of gets that side kind of locked in place. Do the same for this side. Just keep it nice and supported with your hands. Basically hands free a bit more. Grab your level, which I left over here, so it's easy to get hold of. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Good start, good start. That's pretty much there. Yeah, that's nice. So all I've got to do is now I'll stick one in both bottoms. One. Two. Always be checking your levels as you pin them in. Beautiful. Very nice. Just a bit more. Let's send that top bit back a little bit. So all I need to do now is just release this bit. That. Because I've got fixings over that side now, I can literally just hold the door with my hand, bring it across with the other, make sure my bubble's in the right nice place. Perfect, absolutely spot on level. As soon as I've got that bit, now I just put a couple in the top and the head of it. Okay, that's basically that now secured in place. So what I'll do, I generally like a few more fixes in the French door, so I've got 1, 2 in at the minute, so I'll put another 2 in. I'll put one down here. So I'm not actually going to bite into wood with these ones yet. I just kind of want them in, ready. Like that. On this side. And the reason I'm not going to bite into wood quite yet is because I want to make sure I pad these gaps out first, because the door might be like that or like that. Okay, so if I do them all up, I've got to undo more to then get the adjustment to move it. So once you've kind of done that, get it level. See where it's spot on, honestly. When you're good, you know what I mean? Right, so that is basically leveled up. So I'll just nip these in a bit. Again, I won't do them completely up. I can just bite into the wood though. And what I'll do now is grab some spatters. And what I'll do is I'll put these behind every single screw, okay? So that way I know when I tighten it up, it's not going to adjust my levels and keep everything neat. Now what you might have to do, actually, I'll bring you indoors now. Let's see if I can get you a little bit closer so you can kind of see. Let's do that one there. Right, there you go. So, when you put these in, like that, make sure your angles are working together so they're creating a point. So that way as it goes in, it doesn't get caught too much. You might yourself a little hammer, just to help it in a little bit. Give it a welt so that they both come out the other side. Yeah, that's perfect. And then literally just nip it up. That's it. That's that one done and dusted. So I'll do the same for the rest of it. Let's just pull you back this way. Like I say, so I'll just do that to the rest of them. A couple on the head as well, just to make sure it doesn't like bow and twist. It's in, done. And like I say, once I've finished that, I will then run around with expanding foam and expanding defoaming it, which is going to be lovely. See, there you go. You can do these things on your Todd, easy peasy. Loads of window filters do it different to me. This is just the way I do it. It's right, it's wrong, I don't know, but it's in, it's level, and it's working perfectly. So either way, same result. Brilliant. Also, a little side note before I forget. So in here, you'll see these little silver-headed ones. There's actually a little metal plate that runs down the back of the doors just to help give it rigidity. So I use these ones. So they're self-tapping. I'll go through the little steel bar that's in there. And that's then now done, so they're empty. So yeah, you can't just put general screws in because they'll be spinning for donkeys trying to get through. So self-tappers, straight through, they'll go straight through the metal, straight through the plastic, straight into the wood. Then... Right, glazing. Not very complicated, if I'm being completely honest, for this sort of stuff. What you've got to do, so when you're doing the big windows, you'll get with your doors packers. With those ones, you just want one in each corner, maybe a third one if you fancy it. Put it in place, and a couple of packers at the top, then hammer your inlet secure profile back in. With doors, you're going to do a thing called tone healing, where basically it means that all support is in this bottom right left hand corner, so the corner nearest the hinge, or the right hand side if it's a right hand door. And then you put it at the left. So what it basically means is, I've got one packer in there, make sure your glass is facing the way it should do, so this is inside, it says there inside. I shall plop it in there, like thus. I'll then get another spacer just behind it in that corner. So now there is one that is at the bottom, and there's now one, once he goes in that side there. Okay, so that is now that thing that I just said a minute ago. Toe and heel, that's it. And again, same at this side, so don't worry about this side. So now I'm just going to drag it across, get that one in there, let it get pinned. Okay, so this one's a bit too big for that, but it wants to be on the side as well. So I've got myself some 3 mils. Metal cuts are great for chopping these up. Pin one in at the top. And that's going to be a bit too big. I'm going to drop in for a millimetre. Just about perfect. Get it in the right little space. There we go. That is it. Beautiful. So that's now toe and heel, damn it. Blah, blah, blah. So, when you take these profiles out, always make sure that you're laying down so you know exactly which is the right one, left one, top and bottom. Never mix them up. You got yourself one of these little hammers. It's called Thor. Oh yeah, I love that. Basically, it's a glazing hammer. So it's to do these bits. So I know this one's the top. So what I'll do is get it in, get it lined up, going into up there. And this is where you've got to make sure you don't mix them up, because you'll find that they're nice and tight and being cut for that exact position. So this one is going to like squeeze it back up into place. You ready? Once I'm happy. Oh, then, see what it does sometimes is it twists as it goes in, which is perfectly normal. And you have to try and convince it to come back out again. So you can have another bash at it. Actually, I'm glad this was a bit of a pain, because it's good for you to see that, you know, it's a bit fiddly sometimes. Right, that side's now in. So I'll get that corner started. So that's clipped in now. So now I'll get this side. There you go. And you'll notice I'm not coming at it at an angle, right? Using the sliding up the glass, okay? That way there's no chance of accidentally whelping it wrong. So once you've kind of got the top in, obviously it's not going to pivot out now. Get these little protectors off. Get this all lined up, so get that corner. Do the same again, just make sure it's aligned a bit better. That's it started. And working along that way, like this. And now you know which one's your left and right, because like I say, you've marked it. So what I do with the long ones is I just poke that right up into the corner, get it started, poke this one right into the bottom, get it started, and then work the line, pitch it in. Done. Same again this side, top in, like that. Bottom in, same again, get it started. And then just work your way up. Again, just sliding on the glass. You're done. It's now officially glazed. And just in cases, because I did forget to show you how I got the surround profile things out, I should show you now. I'll aim you upwards. Come out really, really easily. Comes out up. So I always take the big ones out first because they're a bit easier. If you can see that, just lift up like that. That's it, out. So now that's the bottom. That's the top. Get these out of the way. Right. And of course, maybe skipping ahead, the left. The other tool you will get is one of these. Just get behind the camera so I can see that you can see it. So you just see, look at that nice little edge, right? Again, it's for removing these profiles. It's by Expert. Spelled slightly wrong, but you know, they always got to distinguish themselves. So that's it, that's how you do this. Like I say, this small window, I'll have one packer, alpaca smacker in the bottom over it. One there, done. The other thing as well, keep an eye out, I do put keys in places. So that's just where I secure them, ready for packaging when they kind of send it out. So I'll unscrew that and get that one in. Perfect. Right. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Windows and doors now in. All fitted, all glazed, all flipping lovely. Yeah, so doors are now adjusted. I can't really show you how I did it. Well, I could do, but all doors are slightly different. I generally use 3 suppliers and they're all completely different to one another, but these guys are really cool. So under here, this bottom cap comes off, Allen key underneath, wind it anti-clockwise, sends the hinge up. So just adjust that, same for every single one if you need to take it up. And then just put the caps back on, done and dusted. On the top ones come off, you have to undo that a little bit just to allow the hinge the ability to move up, and then you just tighten that one down once you've made your adjustments. So what I did was, took all the cover caps off, adjusted the top ones to give you that space, ran them up by about, I don't know, 3 mil, and then I just done the bottom ones to raise it up, and then I just locked the top ones back down onto the top of the hinge. Be so piddly poo. The doors I get are always dual lock, so handles both sides, both independent locks, because these ones are just quality. Actually, it's the first time I've used this company. I need to remember who they are because absolutely bloody brilliant. yeah, very, very impressed. So happy days for that. So yes, that's just that. So what I should do now is, I think, if I feel like it, I do quite feel like it. Get a bit of Western Red Seed up, I think. Have a little play with that. That's always fun. Right, that is it done for the day. So as you can see, very happy. Like I say, the doors are now on, working and perfect. But what else have I managed to do? Oh yes, Western Red Cedar has begun. So there you can see the first 3 bits are up along with across the head there, which is beautiful. Nicely trimmed and finished around the bottom of the window there. So that'll get siliconed up. I'll put the obviously the end cap in there as well. So the plan will be, once the metal sheeting is on site, it will be now, it will just butt perfectly into this little recess here, absolutely spot on. Across inside here, I've done it, little templates, like little templates. So that'll go in there. So I get one full length, that'll run that whole length. Same for the top. So I'll then go in there, up there like that, and be hidden. I'll push back a bit once I get that foam out of the way. But yeah, that's happy days, that is, really happy days. So yeah, looking really, really nice. So tomorrow I should get the doors, need a tiny bit more adjustment. So I'll get the right hand side door adjusted, get the rest of the cedar on the front, and hopefully get it oiled as well. And then hopefully start getting some trims on the inside. Pucker, it's looking lovely, can't wait. Look. Beautiful. Right, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Any questions, ping them to me. I will always answer them. Eventually I do get around to it. Apart from that, have a lovely evening. See you later, guys.